Olá pessoal, bem-vindos a mais um vídeo aqui do canal. Eu trago pra vocês The Stanley Parable. Se eu não me engano, esse jogo aqui ganhou um prêmio, acho que foi um prêmio de melhor jogo indie de 2013. E esse jogo basicamente tem muita narrativa, então na maioria das vezes eu vou ter que não vou falar, porque vocês vão ver a narrativa do jogo. Mas vamos lá, o jogo tá em português, eu traduzi o jogo, tem lá na Steam, tem um negócio de idioma, e lá tem a língua português de Portugal, não é português de Brasil, infelizmente, mas pelo menos é de Portugal, pelo menos a gente tem português aqui. Vamos lá, iniciar jogo. End is never, end is loading. O fim é nunca, o fim está carregando. É uma mensagem escondida aí do jogo. Mas ok. Carrega jogo.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley era feliz.
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Começou o jogo, galera. Então não tem como fazer nada no computador. Vou fazer alguma coisa aqui. Tá. Não dá pra entrar em sala de outras pessoas.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Parece perdido um memo. Tem um monitor aqui. O que tem nesses papéis aqui? Tem coisa escrita nesses papéis aqui? Deve ter, mas tá muito pequeno. Não dá pra ler direito. 420. Tá.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tá, agora começa a coisa do jogo. Porque nesse jogo aqui a gente tem muitos e muitos finais. Então a gente também pode obedecer ele ou ir pela direita. Eu acho que eu vou obedecer. Pra gente ter acho que o final normal, talvez. O normal, o final que originalmente é pra ser feito, de você seguir o narrador. Vamos lá. A porta se fechou. Esses quadros são bonitos, né? Pinturas bonitas. Uma folha aqui, um alface. Aí, ó.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Como terminar uma disputa com um colega de trabalho. Tá mudando por quê? Onde tá esse troço? Ah, aqui em cima. Tem como desativar você não? Ui! Conquista alcançado. Não pode pular. Eu tentei pular. Como é que a gente não tem como pular? Tá botando espaço e não pula. Ah, o jogo tá dando leve demais, cara. Broom Closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Eu vou ficar aqui dentro. Fecha a porta. Lá, não vou obedecer o narrador.
That Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Ah, esquece.
As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Pronto, já saí, meu amigo.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Tem como descer, mas eu vou subir. Eu vou obedecer ele. Depois que a gente terminar esse final aqui, eu fico lá parado naquele negócio lá de vassouras. Desço nessa escada aqui. Oh. Banheiro. Banheiro executivo. Dá pra mexer. Dá pra mexer aqui dentro? Não. Essa porta não abre. Tá meio escuro, velho. Vou calibrar as coisas de vídeo pra poder enxergar melhor. Ok. Tive que mudar o jogo pro modo janela, porque aparentemente no modo tela cheia as coisas não ficam calibradas. Tá, agora eu enxergo tudo.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled,
não, deixa eu aumentar, a resolução que tá muito baixo, né, cara? Não dá nem pra enxergar direito o troço. Beleza. Que segredo estava escondido aqui?
Was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Não. Digitei errado. 2485.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Whoa. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, que lugar é esse? Como que isso aqui tá dentro de uma empresa gigante? Uou. Estamos descendo. Carregando. Tá carregando. O que vai acontecer agora, mano?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ferrou. Vamos ficar preso aqui embaixo.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Eu sigo aqui dentro? Ah, eu vou entrar. Tem um botão aqui dentro. A porta já fechou, então não tenho escolha.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Uou. É lá embaixo, velho. Outro botão.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally
Tem como abaixar.
place where freedom meant nothing.
Uou. E se não me engano, galera, o The Stanley Parable começou sendo um mod de Half-Life. Tinha um monitor que tá escrito alguma coisa em vermelho. Aperta esse botão aqui.
Mind control facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Mais um caminho.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Mano, esse jogo é muito bonito, cara.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was
Que lugar é esse,
the
velho?
heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Como que eu vou destruir os controles? Eu apertei um botão 4 lá em cima. O que aquele botão faz? Tem mais botões aqui também. Oh. Que lugar é esse, cara? Calma. Vou descer aqui embaixo. O que tem aqui embaixo? Um lugar aleatório aqui embaixo. Tem coisas aqui. Tem um botão aqui, ó. Botão 5. Uou. Que isso, véi? É um cineminha? O que tá ali?
At last he found the source of the room's power. He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Então eu vou desligar. E agora? Eu tô caminhando.
Blackness and a rising
Escuridão.
chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
E Stanley estava feliz. Conquista realizada. Vença o jogo. Conseguimos. Então esse daí é um final. Vença o jogo. Vencemos o The Stanley Parable. E volta tudo do começo. Caraca, velho. Tá. Então, galera, conseguimos aqui um final. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado desse vídeo. Eu provavelmente vou fazer mais vídeos. Se vocês souberem aí de mais finais, podem comentar que eu vou estar certamente vendo e vou estar fazendo eles. Mas esse aqui foi o vídeo, galera. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Se você gostou desse vídeo, deixa o seu like, se inscreva, ative o sininho pra não estar perdendo nenhum vídeo do meu canal. Eu espero de vocês. Valeu, falou e fui!